Welcome to the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC. It's your opportunity to learn more about your garden and your yard, about dealing with pests, and about taking care of the birds. You can be part of the show with your questions at 395-1450. That's 395-1450. And now, from De Bruyne Seeds on Washington Avenue in Zeeland, here's the master gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
And good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day the Lord has given us. Let us get out there and enjoy the day. Well, at least until it gets so horribly hot. So just enjoy the day out there. And I heard Jared promise me thunderstorms this afternoon. So, Arlo, is that true?
That is true. There's supposed to be scattered thunderstorms later today.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm holding the two of you to that because we desperately need the rain. Everyone's coming in, everyone's calling in. Why is my lawn yellow? Why are my plants yellow? Why is this yellow? It is drought stress out there, folks. Usually we don't get that at the beginning of June. It's usually during the dog days of summer, not the beginning of the end of spring. We normally don't get it, but we're seeing lots of wilted leaves. Sometimes the leaves will look grayish, drooping, even on the pine trees and on your trees. They might be a little droopy. Okay, what are you doing over there? You look panicked.
No, it's fine.
Okay, it's fine. All right. Just wondering. So there's a lot of things going on out there, and a lot of it is based on because we do not have any rain. Even though we did have that little thunderstorm in the afternoon this week, that really did not amount to much. So don't be surprised, even if you're watering. Sometimes you might even be over watering. We had one person this morning that was watering and watering and watering, and now everything was turning yellow. So turning yellow could be underwatering or it could be overwatering. Remember to put your finger in the soil to see what it feels like. That's your best indication whether it needs water or not. Your annuals in your garden, it's easy enough to do. The root system is right there. Trees are going to be a different thing. You just basically look at what they'll give you some signs. They'll curl their leaves, they'll drop their leaves, they will kind of droop. That's when you need to take the hose out, turn it on. Don't turn it on full blast, just turn it on soft and just rotate, put it around the tree, make sure it goes in the ground, not running off the ground. It's got to run in the ground right there. Keep it on for about an hour. Go all the way around the tree so the tree can get all the way around. Otherwise you water just one side. One side of your tree will get nice and watered and the other side won't, because they don't have a circulatory system like we do. They just have a circulatory system that goes from the point on the root straight up the tree. It doesn't go branch out to anywhere else. It just goes straight up. So do remember, when you're watering a tree or a shrub, you do need to go all the way around the plant to make sure you water it correctly. This is not the time of year to be putting down any kind of weed killer. I know it is just too hot during the afternoon. I know all the weeds love this kind of weather, but it just puts too much stress on our grasses or our plants. And it is honestly probably won't kill the weeds right now anyway. So do wait until it gets to be a more normal temperature for the afternoon. Fertilizing, I would do that only if you just desperately need to. If it can't wait another week or so until the temperatures will even out and make sure that it isn't quite so hot outside. They just need water, folks. Right now, your plants just need water. So do keep them watered. I brought home, right before all this started, I got 3 flats of flowers and vegetables and things I'm going to plant at my house. And then the temperature spiked to 90 degrees. There's no way I'm putting anything in the ground right now at 90 degrees. I'm going to wait until it is cooler. So now I'm babysitting 3 flats of stuff in my kitchen, taking turns of going in the kitchen sink and being watered. I'm getting sick of this. It's got to break soon. Because I haven't planted any vegetables yet. I feel like I'm just so far behind the 8 ball. But I'm certainly not going to do it now and expose the roots to anything this hot. So, drought stress, it's a real thing, and it is out there right now. Now, if you've got any questions, hey, give me a call. 616-395-1450. 616-395-1450 is the number to call. I had such a fun time at Senior Day yesterday. I can't believe I think I saw the entire crew of WHTC over there, except Jared, who didn't show up for some reason. Maybe he had to man the microphones here, but everybody else, even Patty and her husband, were over there. So everybody was there. I saw everybody. It was absolutely amazing. It was so much fun. What a lot of stuff I learned. I did a presentation on pollinators. Got to pull out a lot of my old pictures and talk about the plants that do good for pollination in the gardens. I just basically touched on the annuals that you can plant, because those really go from spring until fall. And if you want to do something with pollination and get some bees and butterflies, make sure you have something there that is blooming that they can use from early spring all the way through when the fall strikes. So, when that frost hits, make sure you've got something blooming. It may not be at their best, but some annuals really do the job, spectacularly. Calendula, marigolds, nasturtiums, those 3 really do great, do from point A in the spring until point Z in the fall. They are right there. They're flowering all year long. And the bees and the butterflies will appreciate that. But, it also have good to have fruit trees, things like the butterfly bush. I've always got a million butterflies on my butterfly bush. I didn't even know I had that many butterflies in my backyard, and I know it's an invasive weed in some places, but I keep mine trimmed down every fall. It is gorgeous every summer with all of its little dark purple flowers on it. Love that thing. Do be careful, and now you also have to be careful with the pollinators. Let's go easy on any kind of chemicals on them. And this means organic are chemicals too. So just go careful on it. Everything kills bees. I don't know of an insecticide out there, organic or synthetic, that doesn't kill bees. Everything does. Soapy water kills bees. That's the one insect that I think you can probably kill the easiest usually. So do be careful. If you everybody, just let that, insects be, or hose them off, or use something organic to get them. Sometimes you get an invasion of things that you just can't help, but you need to spray it. Do it responsibly. I want you to spray early in the morning before the bees and the butterflies are out. B, I want to make sure that this is a very calm day, no wind whatsoever if you're going to spray. Because even a little bit of wind, you can't believe how often I get people that come in and they've got tomatoes that look like it's been hit by Roundup or some sort of weed killer. Well, did you do this? No, but my neighbor was. Yes, did that. I don't care how calm it is. It's gonna come by somehow. Those little tiny encapsulated droplets are going to get over on somebody else's plants or on a plant you don't want. So, and make sure you do it on a very calm day. It's best to aim it right at the plant. And now the most important thing, you spray the leaves only. You do not spray the flowers. spray leaves only. There's a lot of things out there that you can spray the leaves. It will get the bugs, and you'll have some healthier plants. So we do have some of the organic things. Neem is an oil, and it works by suffocating the insects. So you really need to spray that on top of the plant and under the plant. And basically what you're going to do is suffocate the plant too. So it's probably not my first choice on doing something like that. Spinosad might be my first choice if you want to go. It's kind of organic. And then on the other side, bifenthrin breaks down within 3 days into very safe components. So that is another thing that you can use on your plants. But again, I don't care if it's an organic thing, you spray the leaves only. You do not spray the flowers. That way, when, another hour later, when the bee comes in and it sits on the flower, you're not going to have touched that. So that is the way to be very responsible if you feel like you have to spray. And I'll tell you, sometimes you just have to spray. And it is June now. This is a time if you have got a squash plant, pumpkin plant, cucumber plant, that if you've ever gotten the vine borer on it, where the squash plant looks wonderful, things are blooming on it, it looks beautiful, and all of a sudden everything just dies. And you go back on the stem and you see a little hole, and in that hole is a little borer just eating away at the inside of the thing. Squash vine borer. Right now, there are little teeny tiny insects that are crawling around on your squash plants and your pumpkin plants. And they are called the crawlers for the vine borer. And they are going to crawl over your plant, and then you're going to find a little place, little teeny tiny place, and they're going to make a little hole in the stem. And they're going to lay an egg. And that's going to develop into the vine borer. How do you prevent this? In the month of June, when the crawlers are out, we are going to be spraying our squash plants. There's no flowers on them yet. We need to be spraying them. 7 used to work extremely fine. 7 is, if you've still got it in its original component, which it's wonderful. Use that. They do have another version out there right now. It's called 7, doesn't really have the real 7 in it, but it does seem to work on the squash vine borers. So do spray your plants. If you've ever had that happen to you, you will religiously spray during June. So we need to stop, and we need to take a break, do some commercials here, but we will be back with the WHTC Garden Show right after all that happens.
Let's get back to the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show. Call the Master Gardener from De Bruyn Seeds in Zeeland now at 395-1450. Once again, here's Jan Meeuwsen.
Okay, we are back. Thank you, Arlo. Very nice job. I'm very proud. She's flying solo today, so she's doing wonderful. Give us a call. Let's get her going on the phones, too. 616-395-1450. 616-395-1450 is the number to call. We still got a lot of plants at De Bruyn Seed. We've got, if you still need to replant your tomato plants or peppers or anything like flowers, we've got those, and still have some beautiful hanging baskets. I think there are still some great plants, and we still have the cemetery pails. Don't worry. There was a little run on the pails earlier. We had to find someone that would make them, because every cemetery around here requires you have the green pail. And we do have them, so don't worry about them. But now we're getting people that their pails are being stolen off the cemetery because people think that they can't get them. No, you can get them. We have plenty of them at DeBrine's. Don't worry about it. Yeah, they're a little more expensive, but hopefully it's just a one-time expense. Remember to take them off on Labor Day. Otherwise, the cemeteries take them off and throw them in a great big pile, and who knows where yours will ever go. So make sure to take them off. But we do have them, and we do have the flowers that go in them. So don't worry about it. We got you covered, and the guys outside will help you. I had the brilliant idea this week. It was so hot outside. We got a great big 5-gallon cooler out there, and we made lemonade. So we had free lemonade for everyone that was shopping at DeBrine's during the hot weather, but we had a lot of people that just were walking by and grabbed some lemonade, and that was perfectly fine for me. It was a hot week. You didn't need to be outside searching for plants and sweating, and it was cool. Ice cold lemonade was right there to be had. So, and my workers certainly took advantage of that too. So that was fine with me. I just wanted to make sure everyone stayed hydrated this week. That's very important. And if you are outside during the heat of the day, make sure you do stay hydrated. Don't be mowing your lawn during the heat of the day. I can't remember what envirotranspiration rate right now is really high, meaning if you're going to water now that the sun is out, chances are 99% of it is just going to go up in the air and not really help anything in the ground. So make sure that you water early enough. Don't water right before dark. If it stays wet on the leaves of the plant at dark, you have a really good chance of getting some sort of fungal disease, which is another thing that people are coming in with, like crazy brown patch, dollar spot, red thread even. We're coming down with every fungal thing we can think of this week because of the hot, humid weather. And don't let your plants go to bed wet. That's what I'm going to say. We don't let our kids go to bed wet. We make sure they're dry. So let's make sure our plants are dry before they go to bed at night. That's my thoughts on it. So let's keep that up. I water, I think about 4 a.m. my sprinklers come on, and it might be a little wet yet by 8 a.m., but it's pretty much soaked in by then. So that's probably the time to do it. And now everyone's going to say, well, now it's so late to plant my garden. What can I do? I'm really not into planting a whole lot right now. You could put your beans in right now. Cucumbers, pickles can go in. Squash can go in right now. Pumpkins, usually the serious pumpkin growers put their pumpkins in mid-June, so then they come out at the right time in October. So for those of you that were planting them in May, you're going to get them for Labor Day, and I hope that becomes a trend or something with orange pumpkins. And but the serious growers, do start it in June. You got plenty of time to start your pumpkins. Don't worry about it. We got so many varieties: little warded ones, huge ones, little teeny tiny ones, white ones. Ones with lines in them. They're kind of fun. We have them all, and they don't really transplant well, so let's just put them right out in the ground right now and keep them watered. Watermelon, if you want to do those, remember water is in their name. They take up a lot of water. If you rented a garden plot somewhere and you're only going to get there once a week, you may want to ask somebody else to water your pumpkins or your watermelons, because honestly, they do take a lot of water. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about if you want to really do them or not. Some things don't take as much water as other things. Okra, for one thing, is, if you like it, it's an easy enough plant to grow. It loves this weather. This is what it is designed for. It grows like crazy in this weather. Melons actually do well in this weather too. They do like the hot, steamy summers. So you'll get a lot of things to grow this time of year. just remember the water. That's my motto. We don't want drought stress. And if you're going to plant something, do plant early in the morning or late in the evening. Don't do it in the heat of the day. A, for your sake, and B, for the plant's sake. They're just as hot and stressed out as you are when it's 90 degrees. They don't want to be all of a sudden ripped out of their little container and thrown in the ground. So do remember that maybe the heat of the day is the only time I've got. I'll just go out there with an umbrella and it will be fine. It doesn't lead out to a good start for your plants. So let's start them off well let's start them off in early evening or first thing in the morning if you want to plant it. Then you get done with it for the day and you don't have to worry about it. But and remember your hanging baskets. All of my hanging baskets now have birds' nests in them, so I just hate that. And then I feel like I'm watering baby birds all the time. But anyway, I've been told I have to be quiet now and they need to do a break. So I will be right back after the news and everything else.
Let's get back to the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show. Call the Master Gardener from De Bruyn Seeds in Zeeland now at 395-1450. Once again, here's Jan Meeuwsen.
And we are back. Phone lines are open. 616-395-1450. 616-395-1450 is the number to call. A lot of people want to know about grubs, keep asking me, and I think that there is about a 30-second window this spring that you can probably put down grub control to actually kill the grubs. Soil's cold. Now all of a sudden it's warm. I don't even think the grubs know what to do, but I did look at a little patch where my neighbors, I know they have grubs. It looks like they're pupating into adults right now. So I think we have missed the 30-second window where you could put down the Dilox to kill them. Now we have to wait until, probably mid-June through July to put down the BioAdvance season-long grub killer, and that will actually kill doesn't really kill it, prevents the eggs from turning into grubs in the fall. So you've got some time here before you have to put that down, and that actually has to be watered in well after you put it down anyway, unless you really trust Jared and it's really going to rain this afternoon. I would wait on that until we get some more temperate climate, and we actually do get rainfalls that actually aren't just pop-up thunderstorms. So you might want to wait to do the grub control right now. And remember, I saw my neighbor's garden. When you put the plants in, they look so little, and you just feel for them. And so you start putting them in way too close to each other. Now, these guys are going to grow up and they're just going to take over. So when it says to separate them by 12 inches, it really truly does mean to separate them by 12 inches. As absolutely stupid as it looks when you first put them in, they will grow so quickly that within a month you're going to say, I'm glad I did space them out. So remember your social distancing on your plants. It's like it's always COVID for them. They need to be separated from each other. Don't plant them so close. I do, sometimes with your flowers, it's kind of nice to really pack them in so you get lots of flowers right at the very beginning, and it just looks like a great big bed of flowers. But then they start growing into each other, and the only flower that I really know of that will accept a pruning a lot is marigolds, and usually don't do huge beds of marigolds anyway, but like petunias and impatiens, they start to die out on you, and so do keep them separate. They'll grow quickly enough, especially in this weather. They will grow quickly enough, so don't worry about it. And then one that everybody's coming in, they have just built a house and now they have to put down grass seed right now. This is not a good time to put down grass seed because you have got to keep that little grass seed that's been incorporated in the top 1/8 inch of soil. You've got to keep that top 1/8 inch of soil evenly moist for the next 2 months. Now, that's going to be next to impossible right now. The sprinklers are going to have to be going almost constantly to keep that moist. And the quickest way to kill your grass seed is to get it really wet and then get it really dry, and then get it really wet and then get it really dry, and then get it really wet and then really dry. But I can water it twice a day. That's what happens, and you're going to kill those little seedlings. And especially the grass seed that you want to keep will probably die. So let us, kind of hold off until we get temperate climates. Grass seeds kind of like me. I like the spring and fall much better than the hot summer. So wait until April 15 to October 15. That is the ideal time here in Michigan, at least it used to be, to put down grass seed. So if you can wait until then, and people are going to, but I've got the area cleaned out right now, that's fine. When it rains, some weeds will come up. Then you can walk over there with some vegetation killer and kill them. And so that's just one less weed that will come up when you water it when the grass is going. So you can keep it, just invest in some weed killer, a good Roundup or some sort of total vegetation killer, and just take care of that as they grow. Now, do we have a phone call? All right. Good morning, caller. You're on the Garden Hour.
Good morning, Jan. I have a question about hummingbirds.
Sure.
Where are they?
They're at my house.
Okay. I had so many, and all of a sudden they're gone. We were up north, and all theirs are gone. And I'm going, I don't get it.
Now, I do still have quite a bit of them at my house. They do not like this hot weather. I can guarantee you that. So you might have actually seen them. They might be actually going further north right now just to get a little cooler weather.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't worry. They will come back.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Between them and the Baltimore Orioles, we have a picnic out here, so it's been a good summer for them.
The Baltimore Orioles this spring have been just a bunch of noisy teenagers, it seems like.
Correct. They're out here like at 5:00 in the morning.
Yep, and just yelling at each other constantly. So they're making a lot of noise and eating everything in sight.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll keep my hummingbird feeders full. And
yes, they will be back. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
And the phone lines are open, 616-395-1450. 616-395-1450 is the number to call. Yes, sometimes the birds get stressed out too. This is the time that they do start having babies, and a lot of them turn more to eating insects than eating fruit and nectar, but don't worry, they will be back. They're just kind of going undercover right now, so don't worry. And I believe we have another caller on the line. Good morning. You're on the Garden Hour. Good morning. You're on the Garden Hour.
Good morning, Jan. Hey, someone told me that I could chop down some of my sedum during summer so they don't get so leggy and fall over in the fall. Is that true? And if so, when do I do that?
I would wait probably. What do they look like right now?
Oh, they're really nice and tall. They're probably 14, 15 inches tall.
And that's
nice
about how tall you want them?
Beautiful.
Yeah, and that's about as tall as you want them, right?
Right.
Yeah, I would. Well, I'm going to say once the hot weather has gone down to like normal June temperature, you can begin to start chopping them down. Yes.
Okay. How much do I trim them?
Don't
Like
take
a third?
Yes. Very good. You're learning my law of thirds. Don't take more than a third off. Yep.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Thanks, Jan.
Yep. You're welcome. And
Bye-bye.
with that, we need to go to a break, and we will be back after these messages.
Let's get back to the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show. Call the Master Gardener from DeBrine Seeds in Zeeland now at 395-1450. Once again, here's Jan Meeuwsen.
We're back. There are so many things I want to remind you of during this hot summer time, but I'm going to first remind you that the phone lines are open, 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450 is the number to call. If you feel like you have to put fertilizer down on your lawn, I just desperately have to put it down right now, I want you to make sure that you maybe put it down at half strength right now for the time being, or do not put anything with weed killer down. Just if you're thinking I got to do a weed and feed, let's do the weed and feed later, and let's just put down a regular turf builder type fertilizer down. Again, maybe at half strength if it remains to stay at 90 degrees during the day. The fertilizer right now really might do more detrimental things to the lawn than you really care to have done, and the weed killer definitely will. So let's not think about the weeds right now, and I know that's hard because the weeds right now are thriving both in my garden and in my lawn, and in my landscape beds. But I'm not thinking about them. I'm just thinking about the health of what I've got there and what I need to have going. So that's a good thing. And we do have a caller on the line. So good morning, caller. You're on the Garden Show.
Yes, I was wondering, when you plant beans or corn or sugar peas, if you soak the seed before, does that make it grow faster or come up faster?
What it might do is help it rot in the ground quicker. It depends on what the ground is doing, what the ground temperature is like. You really don't need to soak anything right now. Well, maybe except morning glory seeds with the really hard shell on it. Really, most things are meant to go right in the ground, and hopefully you've got enough moisture in the ground that it will be able to break that shell and come right out. And it really doesn't take a lot of moisture to do that. So I wouldn't really soak right now.
Okay.
So you can just plant right in the ground.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
I do seed germination tests every fall for all the seed that we have at DeBrine Seed, because we have to do that every fall. Took lessons in that, and really the amount of water I put on the seeds, on the blotters, really is very minimal, and they do seem to come out of it very quickly at the right temperature. And we're pretty much at the right temperature for most things right now, so I really wouldn't worry about soaking them. Now, as I said, things like morning glory seed, that seed is hard. Some people take a nail clipper and clip off one end. I have soaked mine before. I have not soaked mine. I really haven't noticed a huge difference in soaking to non-soaking. So I don't know. If you've always done it, I would say fine. But right now, beans, corn, peas, things like that, no, don't need to be soaked. And now, one thing, I added I felt so sorry for the birds. We're doing the free lemonade for people at work, but then I'm thinking, oh, my poor little ducks outside. They've got the lake behind me, but I felt so sorry for them. I put out a tray of water because they can't reach the bird bath. And I'll tell you, that tray of water, it's an old pie plate. everybody is at it. I put it down, I walk back in the house, and I can turn around, and there's going to be a half a dozen birds on that pie plate of water. I don't know why. I've just filled the bird bath, but they seem to prefer that stupid pie plate full of water. So if you haven't, and you want to see a lot of birds that you normally don't see on your feeder or even under your feeder, this is the way to do it. I found out that the bird bath is fine. My birds are taking a bath like they're supposed to, but that pie plate full of water, I'll tell you, by the time I get home from work, is absolutely empty. Never has anything in it by the time I get home, and I've got it under the deck, so I can't see where it's really evaporating a whole lot from there. So the birds must be drinking it, or maybe the ducks are playing in it. I don't know, but it's something. If you don't want to add a bird bath, if you think it's too much work, a pie plate of water, you can take it in, wash it off, and then have it ready for the next morning. It's not a big deal to get out there, and you don't have to, once a week I've got to empty my bird bath and scrub it clean, and, sometimes algae grows in there, and then if it gets too hot, then the mosquito eggs, then you got to remember to put the little mosquito dunks in there to get rid of those things. Pie plate of water in the morning, I don't have to worry about any of that. And all the birds love water. I don't know of a bird that doesn't love water. So, get it out. And right now, get out there, sit on your deck, sit in the backyard under an umbrella or something, with your binoculars on and watch the birds. The other morning, it was the oddest, most screeching noise, and what in the world is that? And I went on my deck with my binoculars, and I have a green heron, but it's in the woods on the other side of the lake, and it is just screaming its head off. Now, I love those big blue herons. They're very quiet. I love watching them hunt for the fish. That blue heron just made a ton of noise, and it seems to nest up in the trees. Never seen a heron up in a tree before, but it's kind of cute. Never saw one on my pond or lake before, but it is there. The kingfishers are out right now. To watch them off my dock, and all of a sudden they'll dive in the water, and you think, oh my God, they're trying to commit suicide. But no, they come back up with a little fish in their mouth. Fun things to watch right now. I had a friend that's still seeing the yellow-winged warbler in her backyard, so the warblers might still be going through, headed further north. They are wonderful little birds to watch. They are bright yellow. If you think our goldfinches are yellow, the little warblers are 10 times that. They're like little orbs of sun out there. They're very shy. They don't go to the bird feeder, but they do go to your bird bath. So keep an eye out. And they're usually kind of like the little nooks and crannies in your spruce trees and things like that. So keep an eye out for that little flash of yellow. You might still see some warblers coming through. That's always my favorite month is May, is watching my birds out in my backyard. Get out there with a camera. I don't care if you're not a good photographer. You take enough pictures, you're going to get one that's really good. I'll take a dozen pictures before I finally hit one that, hey, that's not bad. And I know enough of how to do this, and I'm just too much of in a hurry. Got to do this right now. But if you take enough, you'll get a good photo, and people will think you're just wonderful. Of all the wonderful pictures you can take. The Baltimore Orioles are kind of shy birds, but if you can kind of, get up around them or get the zoom lenses, I know people in Yellowstone are being really stupid and walking up to the bison and everything else, and they're telling you, use a zoom, don't get too close. That's probably a good choice with the birds too. Don't disturb them, but just use that zoom lens on your camera and really take some wonderful photos that you can be proud of. And take some photos of what you're growing too. It's kind of neat to watch the progression of how your tomato plants are growing, because you don't you just think of them as small, and all of a sudden they're as tall as you are. And how in the world did they get that way? But if you take a photo every week, it's kind of fun to see how much they actually did grow in the week that you just really have not been paying attention to. So I'm going to tell you to keep your stuff watered. And once the hot weather is over, you can start fertilizing again. Don't be weed killing until the hot weather is over. The drought stress is a real thing. Do be careful with your lawn. Make sure you can lawn and garden and landscape beds. Your perennials have a deeper root system than, say, the grass does. So you've got your sprinklers on for the lawn, and it's hitting your landscape beds, and you think, oh, well, that was fine. It ran for 10 minutes, and the water went down 3 inches, and it hit all the roots of the grass perfectly fine. But it didn't get down far enough to hit the roots of your perennials. So do make sure that you do supplemental watering on your perennial beds right now, and make sure you get it, again, the hose for a little bit, turn it on slow. Don't turn it on so it's gushing out water, and put it down in your landscape beds by your perennials, because that is not getting enough water if you're just watering it with your lawn sprinklers. Lawn sprinklers do fine for lawn at about 3 inches of water, but not for the 8-inch, 10-inch deep roots that your perennials and your shrubs have. So get those hoses out, get the buckets out. I usually go out there once a week. All of my shrubs get watered right now. I only do one bed at a time in the morning. I don't have enough time. I'd have to get up at 2 a.m. to do all this stuff. So I do one bed at a time and get that done. Okay, I have to tell you now, because Arlo has learned to throw signs at me too. I don't know. Jared, I don't know if he's a good teacher or not. But anyway, I have to tell you, I will be back here Tuesday morning at 8:35 with Dan for the garden party, and then I will be on from 10 until 11 on Talk of the Town on Tuesday with Gary for the garden hour. But I will be back here next Saturday, this is the most important one, at around 11:05 with the garden show. Got the names all correct. I am so proud of myself. Even Jared is clapping. Everybody is clapping here. She has finally got that correct. It took me months to get this correct. Oh, but good grief. But we've got it. We've got it now. I will be back here again, as I said, next week, Saturday, 11:05 with the garden show. But until then, we are always going to go green!
You've been listening to the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com. If you wish to hear this or other programs hosted by the Master Gardener from De Bruyn Seeds in Zeeland, check out the podcast section of our website, WHTC.com, and listen or download for free. The Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show is a presentation of 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.